In this video I will give you everything you need to know about Liliam, from the builds, drafts, Lattice investment and more. And yes, I still stand by the fact that if you want to climb in RTA, you gotta have a Liliam. Liliam is a must pull. I called Doki Doki the best PvP unit in the game weeks in advance before anyone even played her, and people called me a madman for it. And if people want to call me a madman for saying Liliam is a must pull in RTA, then so be it. I'll be that madman. But what I can tell you for sure is you're not gonna beat a top 10 player in the world with a unit that is bad, okay? That's just not gonna happen. I didn't get mythic without reason last season, and the only reason why I've had such a win streak here in my match history against some of the best players in the world, such as Young Yo and many more. All of these people are all ex-mythic players, and I won against them because I spammed Liliam. I just spammed Liliam over and over again. On that note, we are about to hit 1k subs, so make sure to like and subscribe, and let's make sure that we get to that 1k subs. So the reason I say Liliam is so important is cause control is turbo broken. That's just really it. And in this game you need answers to that. And Liliam is exactly that. She's exactly what you need to be able to play against control players. Because let me tell you this, here against good players, let's see. Here, control player. Let's see. Oh, another control player. He picked the Liliam to try to prevent me from picking her. Then let's see again. Oh, another control player. Then let's see again. Again, control player having to ban the Liliam. And Liliam solo wins me the game in every single one of these drafts. Why? What are you talking about, Ronaldo? She's banned. Yes, she's banned. But she won me the game. Because if I don't have Liliam, a good control player will always try to take away some of the anti-control units, being Doki Doki or Linglo. They will always try to take away some of these units. Therefore, he took away the Doki Doki first pick, and I locked the Linglo. And now he's like, okay. And then he goes in with the control. But I have a second answer, and because I have a second answer into the control, he needs to ban her, which leaves the Linglo open. If I don't pick her here, Linglo gets banned. And that's why you need her. Otherwise, Linglo gets banned and I'll never take a turn. I will just never take a turn. It doesn't matter if you have immunities, you're just not taking turns. So with that, let's go into the game here that we played against one of the best players in the world that we won, and where Liliam just solo carried that fight. She just goes, she's inevitable. And you will see her damage is very nice. And you really need the anti-push, because a lot of these players, they play some pushback. And as you can see here, that would be a pushback. Then this would be another pushback that she is able to resist. And then the Casio will have another pushback that she's going to be able to resist. And then she's gonna go inevitably. Now since I was able to draft a Linglo on top of it, I'm completely fine. And now look at this. She goes in. He has only 1 DPS and I have immunities, bam. And he instantly surrenders, right? 30k damage and she's gone. And you already saw it here in terms of a bit of the build and the lattices. Let's go into the build. I've come full circle with the build. It is the build that I was testing right at the beginning when I pulled her, and that is going to be the Law of Silence. I think the Law of Silence Bloodbath is the best way to build her, simply because you want the Law of Silence on her and you want the Bloodbath for 2 different reasons. First up, you play her against control, and the Law of Silence makes it that she's untargetable, because a lot of time these control players, they will have an Anchor, a Holden, or they will have a Lilith, and they will have first turn. And if the Lilith or the Holden resets your Liliam, you instantly lost, right? If the Holden just goes, strips her and gets the attack break, she still can get the job done against these full control players. So you really don't want her to get reset, and that's where the Law of Silence comes in. Then you could say, well, you could also go for a count, right? With a immunity set. And while that works, and she has more DPS against lower damage comps and more survivability thanks to the count healing a lot, problem with that is, with the count and bloodbath, a lot of these control players, they also slot in one heavy hitter, being a Yali, being the Messiah. And the Yali and the Messiah, both of them, can cleave through a Liliam with bloodbath with ease. Or with bloodbath stacked on top of the Law of Silence, you have double survivability baked in you, and she's gonna survive that turn, that a crucial turn, and she's gonna take out one unit. And that's exactly what she needs to do. As soon as she takes out, if you tank down and your opponent just is speedy with a lot of control, if you tank down and you take out one of the control units, you won the game. Afterwards she can die, that's completely fine, because as soon as one of the control units is gone, the enemy's control cycling will be stopped. Your people will be able to get their turn and win from there on out. And then in terms of the build, I think Fury Edge is very good, because it gives you the 12% crit rate, and then just as much crit rate as possible. You really want to get as close to the 100% mark as possible, as you don't really want to miss your S3, otherwise you lose the game. And I go Fury Edge plus Harvest. If I had a better Kenai piece here, I would go Kenai. And if I had more crit rate, I would maybe even need to try out how strong a double Harvest is with the Ignore defense instead of Kenai Fury Edge, or instead of Fury Edge Harvest. But that's something I would need to test out. Then in terms of the Law of Silence, you can see it here, it's just a full damage Law of Silence with crit rate in here. For me to get the crit rate, because I don't want to go double crit rate pieces here. I want to go one crit rate piece and then crit damage attack. Or you really at least want one crit damage piece, I feel like, because you need it for the bonus damage. You really need it to actually be able to hit hard. And in terms of attack, she already gets a lot of attack thanks to her being able to self-buff her attack through her ultimate. Then in terms of the Latice investment, I already touched on it previously a bit. I highly believe that you need your S1 maxed, simply because there is a lot of pushback. Because you can push back a lot, and you really don't want to get pushed back that much, because if you get pushed back too much, if your opponent runs something like a Kazuyo Mio, for example, as you saw in the last game, you get pushed back and cycled so much, by the time your Liliam takes a turn, it's too late. The enemy has generated too much tempo for you to be able to catch up and win the game. So I think that S1 needs to be maxed. S2 I do not think needs to be having any skill ups at all. While it is nice to have, don't get me wrong, it is not as important as the other ones. And we are in a big Latisse drought. If you have some spare Latisse ever, sure, you can max out the Latisse, but when are we gonna have ever spare Latisse? Then the S3 also should be maxed out, or at least have her at the max damage multiplier, so she can at least one-tap one unit and gets that bonus speed. That said, usually she is already able to one-tap earlier, but with that she's definitely gonna be able to one-tap your opponent. And also in an extended fight, sure, right? In an extended fight, the bonus crit rate will help you, and the bonus damage from the S2 will help you as well there. Problem with that, she is not as strong as the bruisers in a bruiser versus bruiser matchup. Even with this build, she is actually not that far off of winning some of these matches, but she's not quite there to be able to beat the bruisers. I think that would be too overtuned anyways. But I really urge you guys to have her S1 maxed so she's able to go. So in summary, she's an anti-control unit that disrupts the most disgusting playstyle, which is getting spammed every single game because it's so disgusting. She works exceptionally against the control players. She's not as strong as bruisers in a long extended fight. You really want to have Law of Silence with Bloodbath for her to be able to survive, while also not being reset that easily, because you first need to strip that the Law of Silence before you can reset her. And you want to have her S1 maxed out, as otherwise the pushbacks can really hurt your ability to win these games. With that, like and subscribe. Let's get to that 1k subs. I'm Ronnie, and I wish you a blessed day, and I'm out. Peace!